Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, we're back with the theme stream for Tuesdays. It is originals versus remake month. Now, I could have gone to the full original for the Fantastic Four, which I do believe was the original live action was like 1990s, but I decided to go to the 2005 and the 2015. So, yes, it's not original remake, but it is the original that I grew up with, hence original. So, before we do get started, let's say hello to the chat. And also, if you want to help my channel, subscribe to my channel. I had 1,503 subscribers a couple days ago. I am now down to, I do believe, 1,500. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and checking out my content, liking my content, sharing my content, watching my content are the best ways to support my channel. I am not looking for handouts or money. I'm simply looking to inform and to entertain. So, with that out of the way, let's say hello to the chat. We got Vanya, one of the loyals in the house. Good to see you, bub. And we got Neozoic in the house. Good to see you. Howdy, Orange, and fun question. What if Gandalf and Yoda meet each other, or Legends canon, and either gray or white? What would they think of each other? Well, chances are they would have a very philosophical discussion. I don't think they would fight each other. They would just simply have a philosophical discussion. But getting to the topic of today's stream, we have, or I will go over both of these films in terms of story, cast, writing, effects, acting, leads, along with movie score, directors, and budgets. If it turns out to be uneven at music score, I will go further with director and budget. Now, let's pull up the 2005 cast for a later sharing. Alrighty here. Hold on one second. Just bear with me, folks. There. And we will start things off with the story of these movies. And let's see what the... Hey, Davian Donaldson. Good to see you. Now, the story for the Fantastic Four, everybody knows from the comics. You have the... you have these four scientists and semi-scientists and Ben Grimm, and they go out into space and they are exposed to cosmic energy, and that in turn turns them into what we all know them to be now, which is the Fantastic Four. Now, in the second one, or in the remake, it is slightly different. It's not cosmic energy. It is radiation from transporting between realms, or between two different dimensions that puts them out. Now, one is an origin story that leads into the group actually fighting as in a heroic sense to the public eye. The other one, or the other story, the remake, is simply an origin story. They don't even have their name yet, and it's not even directly mentioned in the film. Not to mention, Stan Lee is in the first one, or in the remake, or the original, rather, and in 2015, he actually declined to be in the remake. the characters and whatnot are not fleshed out as much in the original theatrical. Now, if you pay attention to the original theatrical, you will have a very generic film when it comes to the Fantastic Four. Now, if you pay attention to the to the original extended edition, you will actually have a greater context film that takes place over 2 hours. And I think that that is actually a wonderful movie in its full extended presence. Now, hold on one second, folks. I want to make sure that my audio is canceling out any background noise. Okay, good. It is. Because somebody is playing the TV a bit loud in the background, and I don't want it to accidentally go over on my stream. So, when it comes in terms of story, I think that the original definitely has the upper hand in this. So let me just, or here's the original score thing at 0-0. So in this case, the original does take the first score. Now going to cast. When it comes to the 2005 cast, you have Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis, Ewan Griffin, Julian McMahon. I mean, all great actors. And also Hamish Linklater. I've seen him in other movies as well. So when it comes to cast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Kerry Washington, 6, 7. Who else? I don't know much more of the people in for the rest of it. So yeah. You got the main cast, 5, 6 with Kerry Washington, 7 with Linklater. That's how many I know from the this cast. All great cast, by the way. And this one, you have Miles Teller, or I know him. 1, 2. Kate Mara, I do not know much about. So I don't know her very well. Toby Kebbell, I do know. Jamie Bell, I do know. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Reg E. Cathy, I do know. 5. Who else? Or is there anyone else I know? I do believe there is one other. Yes, Tim Blake Nelson, I do know. So 6. So, and then they get into the other cast. Jesus. Alrighty. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I know from the cast in the remake. So when it comes down to it, the cast is taken by the original again. Now that we no longer we do not need that one anymore. So let me readjust. The original takes cast as well. So we got now 2-0. And let's check the comments. I own the full extended version on the 2005 film on DVD. Nice. So do I. Question. Did you think Fant4stic surpassed comic book films such as Batman and Robin, Howard the Duck, and the worst comic book film, or etc. as the worst comic book film of all time? Um, didn't surpass those two. Or is it the worst comic book film of all time? No, it isn't. The worst comic book film of all time is The Marvels, and I will stand by that till the day I die. This movie or the remake to Fantastic Four, Fant4stic, is worse than the Marvel or is better than the Marvels, and I'll stand by that. So, how would I compare Ewan Grufford's Mr. Fantastic to his other roles, such as Titanic? He was in Titanic. Hornblower, TV show, King Arthur, Amazing Grace, Justice League Unlimited, voice of Mr. Miracle. I've seen him in TV shows mostly, and as Mr. Fantastic. I think that he is a good actor, and I think that he does a good job with an American accent. How would I compare Miles Teller with his other other roles, such as Whiplash, Divergent Trilogy? Never saw it. Spectacular Now, War Dogs. I've only ever seen him in this movie and Mr. Fantastic, or in this movie and Top Gun Maverick, rather. So I think that he did a good job in this movie as an actor, and I think that he did a good job as Goose's son in Top Gun Maverick. So Miles Teller has a good acting chops, in my opinion. So moving on to the next score or scoring category, which is writing. Folks, when it comes to writing, you have in the theatrical edition of the original bad write, or the writing is choppy due to the missing context of certain scenes and whatnot. However, with the full extended version of it, you have a lot better writing because you are allowing the full context of the movie to come out. Where in the remake, that movie, it has a very unique story in which is written. It has a unique take in the writing. I will take that, or I will admit that. However, when it comes to dialogue writing and whatnot, this movie is far less than the other, or the remake is far less than the original. So, because you are not showing too much of the science, you are not describing too much of the science in these movies, where they actually do more science in the original than they do in the remake. In the remake, they were turning them into military assets. In the original, they were literally going through the science to try to figure out what the hell happened to them and to test the extent of their powers. So, yes, the original, in terms of writing, does go clean cut through with the original. How would I compare Chris Evans' Human Torch with his other roles, such as MCU's Captain America? Obviously, he was good in that. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, don't know, haven't seen it. TMNT, voice of Casey Jones, never saw it. Snowpiercer, never saw it. Knives Out, never saw it. Gifted, never saw it. I've seen Chris Evans in a couple other movies. One where he plays a telekinetic kind of guy. That was also, or he's a good actor. Chris Evans is a good actor. He is a shit person. He literally can't handle any sort of person with a different opinion than him when it comes to things like politics or gender ideology. He says that everybody is homosexually in the closet, which is not true. I am very comfortable in my heterosexuality. So, yeah. How would I compare Michael B. Jordan's Human Torch with his other roles, such as the Creed trilogy? Creed trilogy was hit and miss. Black Panther, he played a very hated character, and he played it well. Chronicle, never saw it. Just Mercy, never saw it. He was the voice of Cyborg in the Flashpoint Paradox. I guess he did okay. Michael B. Jordan, he's a good actor. I do not agree with his take that people should be sympathetic with his character of Killmonger, because his character of Killmonger is a black Hitler and very racist and completely racist towards white people. He wants to kill the world because the world is, in his eyes, mostly white, when in the reality, white people are actually the lowest. They are the absolute minority when it comes to the amount of white people in the world compared to black people and people of color. So yeah, Michael B. Jordan is a good actor. His Human Torch version was lesser than Chris Evans in quality. He wants to be, or he embraces it. Yes, he's a hothead. Yes, but the way that the movie was written around his character and around the other characters, it just wasn't. I just wasn't feeling it. I've always seen, or I've always known the Fantastic Four as one particular way, and to change it simply to try to push a narrative, because at that time the narratives were starting to be pushed, was ridiculous to me. So, moving or on to the fourth one, effects. You had decent effects in the first one. You had practical effects with the Thing, with the prosthetic makeup and whatnot. You did good, or when it came to everything else, they had to do digital effects. I thought that they did the digital cloaking very well in the original. However, uh, some of the practical effects with the with Johnny Storm being on fire and then actually being on, or the digital fire, wasn't that good. The stretching for Ewan Griffith's Mr. Fantastic wasn't that good. Now, mind you, this was earlier 2000s, so I can forgive that a little bit, but we are still going by quality of effects. When it comes to the stretching of Miles Teller's Mr. Fantastic, they had much better texture with the stretching. When it comes to the Thing in Mr. Fantastic, or in the Fant4stic, they had much more texture. It wasn't, or yes, it was a digital person. However, it was more to the look of the Thing, where they were limited with the guy in the suit, Chiklis. Now, don't get me wrong, Michael Chiklis's performance was better. However, the overall look of the Thing was better in Fant4stic. The barriers and force fields that Sue Storm could create in the original or in the remake was better. The fire effects for Human Torch was better. The look of Doctor Doom in the original was better than the look of Doom in the remake. However, when it comes to overall effects, the effects of the effects of the remake were more superior in certain areas, most of the areas, than the original. So in this case, the when it comes to effects, the remake gets its first point. So we are definitely this is not going to be a clean sweep. So let's check out the chat while we are before we go to the next category. Also, to answer your question, he played Harold Lowe, the one who is leading to retrieve survivors from the icy waters. Oh, okay. How would I compare Michael Chiklis's Thing with his other roles, such as Gotham, Vegas? He was in Gotham? What did he play in Gotham? Oh, right. I think he was, or wasn't he one of the corrupt cops in Gotham? No Ordinary Family, Eagle Eye won that. All those other ones you have mentioned, I know nothing of. He was great in The Shield. He was great in The Shield. Michael Chiklis is a great actor. The man can play or has a full spectrum of range, meaning he can play pretty much any part you give him, and he can play it well. I mean, because he keeps a little bit of his childishness from his childhood, I'm guessing, into his overall life. He has a great way of expressing his different characters on screen. He plays a corrupt cop very well. He plays the Thing extremely well. He plays a bunch of other different roles, I'm guessing, very well. But those are the two main stories or main things that I know him from. How would I compare Jamie Bell's Thing with other roles such as King Kong 2005, Jumper, Adventures of Tintin, Snowpiercer, Rocket Man? I only know from the first three things, or from this movie, Jumper and King Kong 2005. Those are the only things I know Jamie Bell from. Other than that, I don't think I've seen him in anything else. And in those movies, he plays good roles. He plays very interesting roles. Jumper, he played a freaking crazy ass dude with the ability to teleport, and he did it well. In this movie, he plays Ben Grimm very good. I thought he did okay as a young Ben Grimm. As the Thing, nah. I thought he could work on it a little bit better, but he still played it well. Not as good as Michael Chiklis, though. While Jamie Bell has the better look of the Thing, Michael Chiklis played it a lot. And I do mean a lot better. Don't get me wrong. Jamie Bell did a good job as the Thing. It's just Michael Chiklis was better. So moving on to the fifth category, which is the acting. You have adults in there, or in the original, you have adults, or because as the Fantastic Four, they were all adults, mostly, playing their roles very well. Where you have younger guys, or you have adults, and even younger actors playing, well, teenager Fantastic Four in Fant4stic. For the writing of the scripts, the acting was pretty even. However, folks, and I'm not saying this just to give them an extra point, the acting by Toby Kebbell as Doom was great. Where you had Doom as Over the Top by Julian McMahon in the original, Toby Kebbell as Doom, he's a person who is willing to destroy a planet in order to get what he wants. And he did that great. I thought he was good as Doom. Wasn't a fan of how he looked, wasn't a fan of how he got his powers, because Doom was very different in the movies or in the comics. But when it comes to the acting with him as Doom, freaking great. Ewan, he played a good Reed Richards. Miles Teller also played a good Reed Richards. Both Ben Grimm, Michael Chiklis takes it a little bit over Jamie Bell. Jessica Alba playing it over Kate Mara. They're pretty even. Both were very wasn't their best quality acting. Jessica Alba has always been a slightly over the top actor when it comes to her acting. I think she tries too hard, in my opinion. I have not seen anything of her recently, so I wouldn't know if her craft has been honed. when it comes to Chris Evans as the Human Torch in the first movie versus Fant4stic's Michael B. Jordan. Both played hotheads. Michael B. Jordan played a better Johnny Storm. He was a person who wanted to, or he was a hothead, and embraced his power. However, Michael B. Jordan is the better actor in this particular role. Just saying. So when it comes to the acting, folks, and I do mean this, it is very close. However, the remake takes it by a very slim margin when you are discussing the first installment of the Fantastic Four original, because it does have a sequel in which the acting is actually improved. When it comes to the when it comes to the acting in Fantastic Four, as bad as a movie as it is, you could still have good acting. That movie actually took it by about this much. So yes, getting back to the chat. How would I compare Jessica Alba with her other roles in this one and Dark Angel? Thought it was good. Machete, thought it was good. She's over the top. She is over the top with her acting. However, she does do a good job in Machete. She did a good job in Dark Angel. In this one, she was directed by Tim Story to be a little bit, well, she had her ups and downs in it. I will give her that. How would I compare Kate Mara's Invisible Woman with her other roles? As House of Cards, never saw it. The Martian, never saw it. Transcend, or I've never seen Katie Mara outside of this movie, so I can't really compare them. I was going to do, how would you compare both McMahon to be confused with Vince McMahon and Kebble's Dr. Doom with there, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. As I said, Toby Kebbell does a better Doom. Toby Kebbell does a better Doom than Julian McMahon. Because Julian McMahon isn't willing to destroy a world to get what he wants. Where Dr. Doom, he's willing to sacrifice a world to get what he wants. He doesn't care. That kind of villainy is the best kind of villainy. So, moving on to the next category, leads. I think it is blatantly obvious which score or which ones get the better score in this. When it comes to the original, they have the better leads. Ewan Griffith, I know from two other pieces. Just Alba, I know from like two or three other pieces. Michael Chiklis, two or three other pieces. Jamie Bell, two or three other pieces, or Michael Chiklis. Chris Evans, I know from two or three other things. You are the ones over in Julian McMahon. I know him from a bunch of different things as well. Where the 5 leads in the Fant4stic, I've never heard of Kate Mara outside of this movie. Jamie Bell, I know from a couple of things. Miles Tellers, I know from a couple of things. Toby Kebbell, I know from a couple of things. Michael B. Jordan, I know from like 3 or 4 things. But when it comes to a more established cast, the original does get it. So yes, it is leads. So we got 3 more to go, and it could go either way, folks. So we are moving to music and score next. When it comes to the score, you have to have a score that can complement the film that can make you feel or take you on an emotional journey. And both of these films lack that. However, when I think of both of these films, there is a like one or two parts that have a score that you can really take a good chip from. Both of them have one aspect that actually does a good, or that actually does have a good aspect to the score, where, however, it's more forgettable for Fant4stic. And then you get the original, which has a better pronouncement score and theme. So, yes, when it comes to the score, it goes straight to the original. We will be going into the other categories, folks. Let's see here. What is your opinion on Josh Trank's original plan for Fant4stic as it's being in the same universe as the X-Men film series? If it was going to be in the same film as the X-Men film series, I wouldn't know. Take care, Davey, and thank you for stopping in. And make sure you catch the ending because we're almost done here. But make sure you catch the ending when you can. Josh Trank, I have. If he's talking about the newer X-Men film series with the newer aged X-Men from First Class and on, I could see it, but I don't think it was the best idea to connect them. Moving to the next one because yeah, score took it or away very well to the original. Director. What movies has Tim Story done beyond Fantastic Four? Let's see here. Right along. Okay, so he did Shaft, right along. He did Rise of Silver Surfer, which I actually thought was pretty good, despite the very big problem. He did Taxi with Farrell and Latifah, okay, and he did Barbershop. So he's got a pretty good roll of films here. I see where Josh Trank. Okay. Josh Trank did Chronicle. Okay, that was a good movie. Other than that, Chronicle and Fant4stic, it goes straight to Tim Story. I know more movies more movies for Tim Story than the other one. So, yep, original gets or has the better director. So that's 6. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Final one, budget. And how well did they do with it? But before that, let's get back to the chat. Fantastic Four was saved by Fox, unfortunately, because Josh wanted to do a body horror movie, and Fox was like, Fantastic Four is a fucking superhero movie, so it became a mess of a film. Hey, CJ H, good to see you, man. I prefer the 2005 Fantastic Four movie every time. It's more semi-comic accurate. They ruined Doom, but at least Doom was close. They essentially made Doom Electro, but Doom was no powers besides magic. Yeah. Or has no powers besides magic. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Now, Fantastic 405. Budget. So that movie cost $100 million to make. Now, let's see here. How much did it earn, though? I do believe it was successful. Holy shit! Yes, it was. 333 million. So it definitely made back its budget and then some. Now, let's look at the 2015 budget. $120 million for Fant4stic. Now, what was its earning? $167.9 million. Yeah, that's a failure. So when it comes to the budget, the original is also successful. So out of the 9, we get the original 7, the reboot 2. Now, folks, does that mean that the reboot is absolute trash? No, it does not. It actually had a couple of scores in which it overtook the original Fantastic Four in terms of acting and in terms of special effects. However, that is not enough when you are comparing two movies of similar style. You have to look at a wide range of things, including cinematography as well, which should be a category, but I didn't put it in there. But cinematography speaking, it also goes to the remake. There was better cinematography and cleaner camera work in the remake than there was in the other one, because they relied so heavily on special effects in the original. Now, yes, the original is better from a subjective and objective point of view, but the remake is not a full clean sweep loss. It has better effects. It has better acting by a very slim margin when it comes to the acting. You have a character in Tony Kebbell's Doom that was extremely well played. When he became Doom, he was ready to basically be a Doom for everything, not just the Doom of the Fantastic Four. He wanted to kill a planet to leave so that he could create his own. That is something that Doom in the comics would do. Where in the comics, Doom has failed many times. Yes, he's also shown that he is also a lot more powerful than he is in these movies. So, it's trash in terms of Fantastic Four movie. Yes, that is indeed true. When it comes to a Fantastic Four movie or a comic book movie, the film is indeed worse. If you want to take something to make a good Fantastic Four movie, then you essentially do what they did for The Incredibles. Essentially, yes, you introduce them in their mundanity, in their ordinary lives, and you then look at how they are with the powers. But in The Incredibles, they've always had their powers. So The Incredibles works more for a sequel than or they were born with their powers in The Incredibles. Now, Neozoic asks, speaking of X-Men, off topic, what is your thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine trailer? Deadpool or Ryan Reynolds has always done a good job with the Deadpool movies. I am thinking about seeing it. However, there are ways that I can see it without having to give the movie money. So I will be checking it out most likely. However, I am worried because it is under Disney. Disney is a very giant, or Disney is a planet-sized red flag when it comes to anything they do. They have diamonds in the rough. And however, that rough happens to be a planet-sized desert planet. And you are only going to find like a small diamond here or there in the quality, or when it comes to anything that Disney does nowadays. So I am worried for Deadpool and whatnot. Let's see here. Dr. Doom as an egomaniac 2005 costume was great. Yes, it was. And even the ego was good, but they even mentioned his country. But the electric powers, yes, the electric powers did ruin him. Also, making his whole body organic metal was not a good idea either. Because let's just say that Magneto doesn't beat Doom in comics. Maybe in some areas he does, but in others he doesn't. Deadpool might flop if anti-Disney people don't go, and then SJWs don't go because they support, yeah. But we will see that, or we'll see how Deadpool 3 does. Honestly, I'm on the fence. But anyway, folks, when it does come to Fantastic Four and original versus reboot, it does edge out, or the original does win the game. Let's see here. What is next week's? I forgot to bring my phone out here, so because it needed to charge. Next week is a horror movie for originals versus remakes. Fright Night. So yeah, the 80s Fright Night versus the 2000s Fright Night with Anton Yelchin. So that's going to be an interesting movie. That's going to be completely honest, that is also most likely going to be a closer call, where the Fantastic Four was a very close call, or was not so close. Also, last week's Total Recall, the original just edged by in victory, because honestly, while the Total Recall, I did say it was objectively better, I still do prefer the remake. Just me though. But yes, next week is Fright Night, so make sure you tune in for that. I will be on the Barroom podcast tonight with Society Reviews. We're going to be talking some entertainment shit. Tomorrow is Wednesday for the Ones and Twos on Mars channel at 8 p.m. We're going to be talking Underworld 1, the unrated edition, with the re-edited unrated edition, where you see the memory flashes from the third movie, Rise of the Lycans, implanted into the movie. So yes, make sure you tune in for that one when me and Mara discuss that. And Thursday is going to be the My Bloody Valentine original discussion. And next week will be the My Bloody Valentine remake discussion on my channel for singles. So yes, folks, thank you for tuning in. You all are freaking awesome, folks. I have another video coming out later today. I do believe it is the one of Mark Ruffalo confirming there's no more Solo Hulk movies coming. But yes, definitely tune in and check out my videos, share my channel link. Try to see if you guys can help me get to 2,000 subscribers before the year is out. If you can help me with that, I will try to make it worth your while. So anyway, folks, thank you so much to everybody. Neozoic, CJH, Vanya, and others who may have been in. Y'all are freaking awesome and amazing people. Davian Donaldson as well. So yes, it is time for me to go, folks. And I will see you on Society Reviews channel. Y'all know the drill. If you're catching it on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Which one did you like better? Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat. Y'all have a wonderful day, and always remember to stay